So, Jonas, can you tell us what issues you spoke about in your opening address?
Well, first of all, I welcomed everybody to Stockholm and Sweden. We are obviously very proud of the city in itself. It's beautiful, but it's also a center of innovation, a lot of creativity, and actually it's probably the fastest growing region in Europe for the time of being. So a lot of activity here, and I really wanted to welcome everybody to this lovely city. And also I talked about the importance of innovation and technology, the theme of the days here. And I think truly that bringing people together with different perspectives on things is actually the engine for a lot of innovation. So it's very nice to be here.
Last year saw Stockholm-Arlanda break records for the number of passengers using the airport. What do you think is behind this increase?
I think there are some general trends in society that people are getting used to the fact that they should be able to fly. It's affordable. And I think also Sweden is a very, very small country in the global context, and we are extremely export dependent. 50% of our GDP is actually coming from export. So hence we are very, very dependent on good connectivity to the rest of the world. But also in terms of size, from a geography perspective, Sweden is probably the largest country in Europe from the south to the very north. So also inside the country we need aviation to make sure that the whole country stays alive. And I think now people in the younger generation in particular, they are used to be able to travel, experience new culture, whether it's at work or it's leisure traveling. It's just a way of living, and therefore I think we will see growing passenger numbers long term as well, but we also then need to work with the sustainability of the industry, and that is crucial for the long-term success.
How do you manage such growth in passengers? More investment?
Yeah, we are now investing heavily particularly in Stockholm-Arlanda, the biggest airport that we are managing. We are in a program where we are investing more than 1.6 billion euros for the next 4 years. And we are building then a new terminal area, a new pier, and a lot of things to make sure that we have the capacity for the future. But actually the growth have surpassed our expectations. So we should have started 3 years earlier, most likely. So now we are trying to get along with a lot of innovative ways to just enable people to get around, because it's really crowded sometimes, in particular at peak times.
Swedavia won an award at the Airports Going Green conference for your investment in bio-aviation fuel. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we believe, as I said before, we believe that sustainability is a key success factor for this industry as well as for every other industry. And we believe that bio-aviation fuel will play an important role, because that can quite fast change the CO2 emissions of the industry without changing the whole aircraft fleet. But in order to do so, we need to have to bring down the cost of producing the biofuel. And in order to do that, you need to have demand, so that large-scale production come into place. And what we are doing is simply trying to stimulate the demand. And of course, what we do doesn't make a big difference. But if somebody can see that you can actually fly in a sustainable manner already today, then somebody else will follow us, and then gradually we can see demand growing, and then there will be players coming in and making production more large scale, which will bring down unit cost, and then at some point I hope that will be competitive.
Why do you think Passenger Terminal Expo is such an important event on the aviation industry's calendar?
I think it's an excellent way of bringing people together from all over the world, experts, managers, executives, to talk about important questions. And given that the theme is about innovation, I think innovation and creativity comes from people getting together. And therefore I think this is a very good example of a scene where that can actually happen.